The village of Holcomb stands on a high wheat plains of western Kansas, a lonesome area that other Kansas calls out there. Some 70 miles east of the Colorado border, the countryside with its hard blue skies and desert. Am I annoying you yet? Hmm? Capote, released in 2005 and it's directed by Bennett Miller, who's directed such other films like Foxcatcher and Moneyball. The film stars Philip Seymour Hoffman, Catherine Keener, Clifton Collins Jr., Bruce Greenwood, Chris Cooper, and Phaeton. And I'm going to try and conduct the entire movie review as the voice of Truman Capote. Capote is about the time in Truman Capote's life when he wrote one of the greatest novels of all time, In Cold Blood, which is a novel about true events that happened in 1959 when two killers entered a house and butchered 4 people. But the movie shows Truman Capote's process in crafting such masterpiece and the interviews he conducted with the killers to get a good look in the mind of a killer, which at this point in the history of writing really was never really done to this extent. Truman Capote wrote In Cold Blood and it revolutionized the entire world of fiction and nonfiction, being able to take actual true events and true happenings and being able to turn it into a suspenseful, thrilling novel. The tale is one of the greatest novels ever written. Of course, I haven't read it before. Growing up, I wasn't much of a reader. I read very slow. It was actually a miracle that I actually ended up reading To Kill a Mockingbird. That was written by Nell Harper Lee, played by Catherine Keener in this movie. I actually never knew that. Both of these authors were best friends. Never knew that before. But aside from the novel, when this movie came out, it was receiving tons of praise as well. This actually won Philip Seymour Hoffman his Best Actor award at the Academy Awards that year. Which, I mean, really, you had to give it up for Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, this is really a one-man show. And for an actor that has such bravado and such a deep, dark voice to play such an effeminate character, I think is actually very impressive. Because typically when you see Philip Seymour Hoffman, he's doing something like this.
What, do you have a wife, a girlfriend? Whoever she is, I'm going to find her. And I'm going to hurt her. And then I'm going to kill her in front of you. Is that the extreme?
But here, he's definitely, you know, tempered down a lot. And I always enjoy that when an actor does something out of the norm for themselves. He's very poised, he's very subtle in this movie, which shows me as the audience member that he's not really going for an impersonation, kind of like what I'm doing now. No, he's actually going to play the genuine person of Truman Capote. And I think he plays it beautifully. Catherine Keener, I'm not a huge fan of as an actress, but here I actually think she was tolerable. She has some very good interactions with Philip Seymour Hoffman, and this film is actually very educational. I didn't know that Nell Harper Lee actually helped Truman Capote write In Cold Blood. That was news to me. In fact, she conducted many of the interviews and helped him write them a little bit. And Clifton Collins Jr., who plays one of the killers who is on death row that Truman Capote is writing about, that dude is creepy as fuck. He has one of those very creepy faces. I don't know. I just look at him and I go, stay away from me. Now, I think I said in my last review that actually I saw the movie Infamous before I saw this movie for this review. Infamous, starring Toby Jones, who plays the titular character as well, with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And that movie is actually... it's basically the same movie as this one. It covers the same subject, the same people, really the exact same time of Truman Capote's life. That film, however, showcased a lot more of the supposed homosexual relationship that Truman Capote had with one of the killers. It's documented and it's been talked about how he had feelings for one of the killers that he was writing about. And in that one, I think the killer was played by Daniel Craig, a very young Daniel Craig, but we actually show a short little love scene between the two. However, in this movie, it's a lot more subtle. You can tell that Truman Capote is developing feelings for this person, but we never actually see them act on those impulses. But it's all played very subtly, and really that's the best kudos I can give this movie, is that it's very subtle in its approach. It's not flashy, it's not in your face, it's all just real life events and people just acting as people. Everything is very subtle. And on top of the great performances that we get, I really enjoy the score of this movie because really there's not any. There are many scenes where it's just people talking and there's no underscore, there's no tones being played, it's just dialogue, just straight dialogue. And I think that added to the coldness of the prison that these two people were in. And actually, when you look at the film overall, its color palette is very, very cold and very subtle. There's a lot of grays on screen, it's very dark, it's very cold. It makes your blood cold in the Cold Blood in blood cold. You get it? I think we're gonna have to call it quits because this voice is not holding out for very long. In the end, guys, I will say if you're gonna go watch this movie, please make sure that you're willing to be invested because this film, it is very slow paced. I feel that the climax is worth it and the performances are definitely worth it. And if you catch all of the subtle intricacies, all of the color palettes and all of the editing, kind of the atmosphere of this movie, I think you'll appreciate it. Like I said, it's very slow, very drawn out. So if you're not in the mood for that, you're probably not going to have a good time. I'm going to give Capote 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
And I'm taking these off and I am not doing that again. Wow. I am either going to get a ton of hate on this video or maybe I'll just get a bunch of love because everyone appreciates my commitment to impersonating Truman Capote. But that's why I didn't win the Best Actor Academy Award, because I was impersonating, whereas Philip Seymour Hoffman, I feel, was actually doing the character. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next one comes from one of my longtime subscribers and one of my longtime fans, Kristen. And she recommended Pretty Woman. Is it Pretty Woman or Pretty Women? I think it's Pretty Woman. But Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. Guess what, everyone? I have never seen this movie before. And when I said that at work, oh my God, the hatred that I got. What do you mean you've never seen that movie before? How can you call yourself a movie reviewer? And I get that criticism a lot. But like I always say to everyone, there are thousands upon thousands of movies that come out each year. It is impossible to see every single movie that has ever been released. Sometimes big tentpole films, like this one, apparently, gets missed by me. And this happens to everyone. So the reaction shouldn't be, oh my God, how have you not seen that before? The response should be, oh my God, Caleb, I am so jealous of you because you get to experience this movie for the first time. That is something that I never get to do again. And I'm not the biggest Julia Roberts fan, so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So thank you, Kristen, for the recommendation. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please leave your comment below this video. Go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. So everyone, have you seen Capote? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And if you like what you saw here, if you were okay with my impersonation of Capote, if you like my take on movies, then hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And if you have friends and family who like listening to people talk about movies, head them over my way and hit that subscribe button. And we are trying to reach my stretch goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2019. And if we do that, I will watch and record myself and post my recording of myself watching Arachnophobia, which I really don't want to watch at all. I saw a trailer for another Spider movie that I think came out a couple of years ago the other day, and I felt my heart rate just start increasing. So how is it going to be when I see this movie that I haven't seen since I was a child? I'm going to freak out a lot. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Pretty Women. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.